tweeted something the other day that I thought people would enjoy hearing. I'm a support worker for people with dementia, and an elderly woman that I visit told me this funny story and I thought people would appreciate it, so I put it on Twitter. But it gave me a good idea for a video. So this was the tweet that I wrote. Just heard the most Scottish thing ever. An elderly woman I support was telling me about the Clydebank Blitz, and during the bombings she saw a drunk man stoating about the street, waving his fist at the air and shouting, "Come down and fight like a man!" So Scottish. Clydebank's a shipbuilding town, or it was a shipbuilding town in Scotland. It's in West Dunbartonshire. And on the 13th and 14th of March in 1941, Clydebank got badly bombed, and it was called the Clydebank Blitz. It just got totally destroyed. And a lot of the elderly people that I support and work actually lived through the Blitz, and I hear quite a lot of their experiences and things. So this woman was telling me what she remembered during the Blitz, and that's what she said. And then on one of the pages on Facebook, I think it's the Being Scottish page, they shared my tweet and somebody commented on the picture, and this is something I've heard as well before. This person said, "The Blitz story I heard, some swear it's true, is about the sirens going off and everybody running to the bomb shelters except one man who was going back the other way. His friend asked why and he replied, 'Going back for my teeth.' Friend says, 'God's sake, Jimmy, it's bombs are dropping, no pies.'" Like, I'm pretty sure that one's a joke, but at the same time, like, I could actually picture that happening. And the drunk man waving his fist at the air, like, I actually can picture that happening. And quite a few people were like, "Didn't happen." You know those people on Twitter, you have these people that don't believe anything. But I was like, what is so difficult to believe about a drunk man shouting at the sky during a bombing? Like, that is so Scottish, especially in Clydebank, like, typical banky. So another of the most Scottish things I've ever heard in my life is one of my favourites. So this here is the Duke of Wellington statue, and it's on the Royal Exchange Square in Glasgow. And this statue is rarely seen without a traffic cone on its head. It's just become this huge thing, and it's just part of the culture now in Glasgow. And in 2011, Lonely Planet actually put it in their top 10 most bizarre monuments. So because it allegedly cost around 10 grand for the removal of the traffic cones, like, that's so much money. And after each removal, another cone would mysteriously reappear on the statue after a few days. So in 2013, Glasgow City Council were planning a project to double the height of the statue's plinth. Like, as if a heightened statue is really going to deter a drunk Glaswegian person. Like, come on. And this was met, as you can imagine, by sheer outrage. There was a Facebook campaign called Keep the Cone that in 24 hours reached over 72,000 likes. There was also a petition to keep the cone which had over 10,000 signatures. And there was also a rally. Like, people like this cone, right? People like this statue. So the plans were scrapped. And if that story doesn't sum up Scottish people, then I don't know what does. Another really Scottish story that I heard, and I'm sure quite a lot of you will remember, and it's the story of the man that kicked the burning terrorist. Yep. In 2007, two men rammed into the terminal doors at Glasgow Airport in a jeep filled with gas cylinders. The car went on fire. I'm pretty sure one of the guys was like throwing petrol out the car, and one guy poured petrol over himself and set himself alight. One of the men attacked a policeman that arrived on the scene. The man was tackled by passers-by, including a taxi driver, Alex McElveen, who kicked the man who was on fire in the balls, and he tore a tendon in his foot doing it. John Smeaton, you've probably heard that name before. He was on his break. He was a baggage handler at Glasgow Airport. He was on his break having a wee fag. He also got in a few kicks and reportedly said, "This is Glasgow, we'll set about you." So Scottish. There was also Michael Kerr, who lost a few teeth and broke his leg during the fight. There was Stephen Clarkson, who punched one of the men to the ground, and then that meant that the police were able to arrest the man. There was Henry Lambie, who sprayed one of the bombers with a fire extinguisher because he was on fire. There was Michael McDonald, who also helped tackle one of the men. There was Stuart Ferguson, who was an off-duty police officer, and he sprayed water at one of the men who was on fire. And then that was this photograph here that a lot of people will remember. There was also Sergeant Torquil Campbell, I'm so sorry if I butchered that name, I don't know how to pronounce that, who was one of the first people on the scene and helped fight the men. And he was also the man that the man in flames ran towards. That'd be pretty terrifying. So there's quite a few heroes that day, and who knows what would have happened if these guys weren't there. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty Scottish news story. Bunch of guys battering, burning bombers. I know with that story though, there's quite a lot of mixed views on what actually happened. That's just the general gist of the story, and all the men were involved and all the men helped. Another story I thought of when I was thinking of the most Scottish things I've experienced, I just thought it was a wee funny story to share. A couple of years ago I did a campaign with MacB Water, and it was called Unleash Your Bottle, and we had to do things that were out of our comfort zone to encourage other people to get out of their comfort zone. So I decided to dance in public in Glasgow, like the busy streets of Glasgow, and I was absolutely mortified. but I did it. And I asked these two workies, right, they were on their break and they were just sitting eating their lunch, and I was like, do you mind if I dance behind you for this video? And they just went, do what you want. I was like, okay, thanks. So I went behind them and I did this dance, and then obviously this guy decided to do this. And I was like, man, like, I can't put that in the video. I wanted to, but I was like, I can't put that in the video. Typical Scotsman, like, ruining my video. I just found it funny. When I think of really Scottish things that I've experienced, this one cracks me up, and it's not even like a good story, but I thought I'd put it in because it makes me laugh. So I was in the local leisure centre. There's double doors. There was a group of people coming towards me through the second double door. They were leaving and I was going in through the first set of double doors. And then there was a couple of people in between the double doors also coming out, and people behind me as well. So I went to open the first double door and a man opened it before me and he was like, on you go, and I was like, no, on you go. And he's like, no, on you go, and I was like, no, on you go. So he went through. Then the person behind him was like, on you go. So I went through, and then I held the door open for the other person. I was like, on you come through, and they're like, no, on you come through. So I went through, and then I could hear it all happening behind me. People were going, no, on you go, no you go, thank you, cheers, see you later. And it was just, I was like, this is so Scottish. Everybody is so polite. You hold the door open for everybody, you always say thanks. People are generally just really friendly and polite. So I thought that was funny because I was like, it took everybody so long to get through the doors because everybody was being so polite. I hope you've enjoyed this video. These are some of the most Scottish things I've seen. I just thought I'd share them because I thought they were funny. Leave one of the most Scottish things you've ever experienced in the comments below, and if you've not subscribed, remember to click the subscribe button if you enjoy my videos, and also click the wee bell if you want notified of when I upload. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.